of Ndindi Nyoro. First of all, tell him, he's saying that we should provide 5 billion to subsidize fuel. Tell him we did that before he said it. We provided 5 billion, and I said it here, and we have now even added another 2.7 billion. The first month, we supplied 6.2 billion. The second month, it was 5. We have already provided 11.2. We are even adding 2.7. So tell him we are at 13.9, way beyond the 5 billion. His 5 billion would leave the prices of fuel very high. In fact, diesel would go to 300. So tell him he's not an expert, if that is his thinking. On VAT exempt, it is easy, very easy to say, put VAT at 0. My friend, let me address you through Sheila.
Yes.
Sheila, the 8% drop in VAT, we lost 12 billion in 1 month. And up to the end of June, we will lose 24 billion already. We are implementing a budget. We are already in May. Almost the entire development budget has been implemented. So you can't cut it. Money must be transferred to counties. I'll tell you, already KRA has a shortfall as we speak. Where are we going to get more money? It is easy to say, remove VAT. That hole, where will we get that money? Do we go and borrow more loans from the domestic market? Because now we cannot negotiate with any external financier to support us. We cannot even go to the external market. The external market today is not existing because of the war in Iran. You can't even get Eurobond today. I don't know whether you're aware of that. So the only option available for us is either to stop paying people's salary up to the end of June, or reduce people's salary, the public servants, those who are in the payroll. We reduce their salary. Or, because that is what is left, we have salary up to June. Can we cut their salary? They will go to court. Number 2, we can go to the domestic market and borrow more. What has Kenyans been saying? What have you been saying? You have been saying, please don't overborrow. So, as we talk of fixing this short-term crisis with measures as removing taxes, let us also think of the consequences. But I'm not saying that cannot be done. That is why I said desperate times call for desperate measures.
Right.
If that is where it will come to, and government will make that decision, so be it, but there will be consequences. And then, on the issue of fuel levy of 7 shillings, you know, Ndindi, my friend Ndindi is becoming just notorious and mischievous. He knows very well that 7 shillings is not there. That 7 shilling has been sold. That 7 shilling has helped us to raise money to restart all the road projects that we are seeing across the country. It is not money that is available to us anymore. It's money that we have used to do the Mau Mau roads. They had stalled. Uhuru Kenyatta left them stalled. The roads in Suba were stalled. The roads, yes, like Sindo. The road in northern Kenya, which was being done, had stalled. The contractors had left the site. All these roads, including in Mombasa, Ndongokundu and the rest, those roads have been restarted and they are going on.
All right.
Now, that money was used to raise money to do these roads. And he's saying that that money should be removed from the field. It is not there. We had sold that right.
All right.
All right, listening to the CS, it would appear that there's still that feeling that we've gotten to the end, that there's nothing we can do. Don't touch those things. Yet that is the only proposal. People are saying, yes, and we need to really look at these 9 different levies. But listening to the CS Treasury, who ideally should be in charge of all this, he says, no, don't dare touch this. So where do we go from here? We still have to wait for the president.
It's ridiculous. Look, Fred, how much money has been spent by this government buying furniture and office stuff? We are being told 1 trillion Mamma mia. And some person there is telling, where are we going to get this money from? It's all been, 7 years has been in security. It is gone. We didn't have, and then you hear. These are the sort of people that ought to be in jail. With due respect, where is the road maintenance levy going to? If you tell me 1 trillion has been used by the government to buy furniture, and yet we have people who can make excellent furniture over here, and they're importing furniture. So you wonder, really, someone is using 17 billion in State House, and they're using close to 1.5 billion every month for entertainment, holding the political, rallies in State House, and the entertainment that goes with that, and the expenses that go with that. But for them, even for him, the CS himself, show me by example, because Uhuru at some point said that, look, we have to lower the capacity, the CC of these motor vehicles the government functions are using. But for him, he is happy to ride in the fuel guzzler, and he has chase cars that are equally, fuel guzzlers, just like his own. And so this display of opulence has gone on, and even in the face of the hike in fuel prices, they have absolutely no policy to say that we will now cut down on the chase cars, we will reduce the cubic capacity of the vehicles that we use, so that then the Kenyan people at least are spared in terms of these. And what do we see, even members of the National Assembly? And I'm not saying that they shouldn't attend to their constituents, but still the fuel allowance that they still gain is based on their cubic capacity motor vehicles. And this is probably why the Njoro's proposal is even more pertinent. Let members of the National Assembly congregate and meet, and we, the Kenyan people, also prefer our own propositions to them as a voice of we, the Kenyan people. Mm-hmm. And your own individual MP should be able to take your opinion, and you should be able to tell them, now look, you people, you should, each one of you, buy yourself a 1500cc motor vehicle to be in the constituency, and you move around in the constituency. But because being a member of the National Assembly is a status symbol, and some of them even leave professions like my own, and they want to be members of the National Assembly, and you wonder your career is not sufficient enough, but it's because of the opulence and the trappings that come with that, that attracts them. And one of them is this expenditure of fuel and taxes. So when you hear a whole CS telling you, where are we going to get this money? This is where they're telling you that if you have undeclared dividend, 60% is going to be gobbled up by the government. This is what they are proposing in the finance bill that is out there. So the Kenyan people are being battered and bashed by a totally irresponsible, rogue government. And you wonder, who will be our voice? Who will be our voice?
The problem appears